Super excited to have another purpose journey to share with you all. So incredibly honored to invite our special guest today, Suriati, to join us and share her story. So simple question for you, Suriati, where are you? Where in the world are you from? Where are you now?
I'm based in Norway.
All right,
Yes.
Norway. That's beautiful. Okay, so that's all we get to know for now. And then I'm going to ask you the deep and most important question of the day is to take a moment and either close your eyes or just take us back to that moment, or maybe a series of moments that were that aha moment where the light bulb turned on and you said, this is my purpose. This is what I'm meant to do. And just take us through the journey, and I will find out with our audience. So I'm super excited. Please begin. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Rose. I'm so happy to be here. You know, recently, Donald Trump's Vice President, J.D. Vance, has taken a big punch on Kamala Harris on being childless and saying that how can a childless woman be able to take care or oversee all our children's needs in the US, right? And that definitely hit a spot for me. Childless. For some of us who are childless, it feels like ouch. And I think for myself, having gone through two miscarriages and eventually decided not to continue in trying for another biological child. I think this is something that we could all think a bit deeper. And yes, I do have three step children, three stepsons. I'm blessed to have them in my life. But at the same time, that incident brought me to think about, without biological children, what is my legacy? And this is also something that I've been thinking about quite a bit. Yeah. I come to ask, what is really my purpose on earth? And for all of us who uh, uh, contribute in the world, we're all probably eager. What is really my impact in the world? And there is actually a reason for us in the world. We are all intermediaries, we are all messengers. Our message for the world may vary depending on our life experiences, but there is a reason why we are here, right? Be it, you're thinking about your purpose or your message, whatever it is that you're thinking about in that realm. There is also this thing about um, how morbid it may sound, this death bomb that's gonna drop on us. We don't know. In a way, that's a gift. Whether it's gonna happen today or tomorrow, or God knows when it's gonna be. We tend to think about legacy as something that is much, much further away. But at that moment where we do not know, when the higher power or God decides to call you back home, your time to make that legacy is up. And this brought me to a very important point in my life. I was thinking, what am I leaving behind? So 3 years back during COVID, I was one of those unfortunate companies who ran a travel agency who was, caught. Our hands are tied because we could not run our travels. Yeah. So I was, in a way, I will not say forced, but I was enabled to pivot, and I was called to do an online program where I help people to create their message, to own their message, to find their message, and then empower it. So, and that one course led me to help others to further their message, even more by organizing book writing programs. Yeah. So that one was probably the book writing became quite popular. So I ran 5 rounds of that during COVID. And out of 25, I had 10 persons who finished writing and 6 who had published. Yeah. So it's very, very humbling for me because it was a very, very small program. So book writing is not about having a lot of information, right? If that's the case, lots and lots of people will have already published their books because there's so much information out there. It's all about the right kind of information for you to get past that starting point. So I've come to think that my purpose in life or my legacy would be to help people to create and to own their message and to get it published, because a book can function like a ripple, right? We're all putting out ripples in the world. And that would be my legacy. Doesn't matter how many books I'm going to be publishing, because I want to be a prolific writer myself. But more importantly, I would like to help about 100 persons to write books. God knows how long I have to publish that. May God help me with that journey. And for me, I want to add on here, when I hit 50 this year, this thought about leaving a legacy becomes more and more poignant for me, right? I became more and more aware that how much time am I left? Because I'm halfway right now at 50. So my question to you out there is, what is, if you've not thought about it, what is this message that is you, that only you are born to deliver? Number one. Number two, should, touch wood, we are left with no time, and that the universe or God decides to call us back home tomorrow, what have we left behind? What was our message already? With that, I thank you. I hope I've given you some food for thought, and I hope it's something that could guide you and guide us all in this mission, our life mission that we're going through in this journey, this beautiful journey we call life. Thank
Wow.
you, Rose, for having me.
Yes. Wow. Well, that's so beautiful. And what I really loved, my favorite part was that you could have chose to be a victim and to be frustrated when your travel agency, was stuck. And instead you chose to be enabled to pivot and to help others create their message. And that is just so beautiful. And, so what was that day that you decided to start doing, helping others with writing? Was it that day that you got stuck and you said, okay, I can't do a travel agency? Like, what did that look like?
It wasn't just me. Okay? In a way, I will say that it was totally accidental. And in a way, I was kind of, I almost used the word forced, right? So in a way, if I were to put it bluntly, I was forced into that journey, and I did not know of this journey that I could have. Just before COVID hit, I was part of a women's club, a networking club, and the chairwoman said that we're gonna do a little bit more for our community, so we're gonna start giving short courses for our members, right? So the others were coaches, except for me, but of course. And then because we will pitch our businesses every month, right? So she has seen what I do, and I don't know what was going on in her mind, but she was saying, like, if you have questions on how to pitch a business, ask Suriati. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, just ask Suriati. Okay, so sometimes she will say it like, in whispers, but sometimes she will say it very openly, and then I'm just blinking because I'm like, with my hands tied because I can't say anything. She put me in a spot. So she left me with a mission, in a sense, yeah, a mission project, because she left the club and she said, we didn't manage to do that teaching stuff, but I'm making my exit, but you do that, okay? Promise me, you got to do it. So I felt like, okay, I want to honor that last task that was given. So I did it. That was a live session. And when I was about to start doing it, I realized that, wait a minute, my whole life, as I followed my breadcrumbs backwards, I realized that I've been a speaker all my life. I was on stage since I was 7 years old, right, doing storytelling. And I think my mom was my coach. No qualifications. She's just a tiger mom who loves to win. So it was like a collaboration between me and my mom, like, competition after competition, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, like that. And on to my careers, I realized that I'm one of those designated presenters when we have international guests as well. So I realized that this is actually has been my passage, which I never thought about. And when I remember telling this chairwoman, I said, "Why am I doing that? I'm I'm just a travel agent. You're not going to be a travel agent all your life. There's got to be something else for you." I said, "Really? And you think this is the one?" "I think so. I'm just following my intuition." And lo and behold, what happened, Rose? It's like the following year, COVID hit. It's just so interesting, isn't it? If I had not honored that task, I probably would not know what I would be pivoting so easily. When COVID hit, I thought, what could be next? So I went back to those clients who came for my the live. It was a half day session, and I asked them, "Would you join me for a longer program?" I believe three-quarter of them said yes, and I went on to do it, and it just spiraled from then. I did a 7 week one, and I had more people coming in for that one. And then after that, I just thought, how could I help my clients to further their message, right? And then the idea of this very small, I called it write a book in 3 weeks. So it was just 3 weeks, and I actually had one client who finished it, up on Amazon, finished within 3 weeks. Super, super, super woman. But and that's a story.
Wow, that's amazing. And I really love how you traced your crumbs of your purpose back to your childhood, because I've heard it over and over again. And actually, Marissa Peer is very well known for saying that, is that if you don't know what your impact or what your purpose is or what your gifts or your skills are, look at the things that you enjoyed to do between the ages, I believe, of like 7 or 8 to like 13 and 14. So that's exactly what you're saying happened to you. And then another thing is that I've heard other amazing coaches share that when you're on your purpose journey, things line up. So this woman saw it in you. She saw the
Yeah.
gift of this in you before you could even see it, and she started sending you your way. And so when this tide turned, you were ready, and then you started, just supporting other people doing it. And it's so amazing how things flow when you are going in the right direction. And when you're not, I believe that, things become hard and obstacles come in your way for a reason, to say, hey, like, recheck the direction where you're going. Maybe you need to turn around. Maybe you're going in the complete wrong direction. This obstacle is here to show you, maybe it's time to turn another page. And so really, literally, like what you're saying is, writing your message and turning that page. And that's so amazing, within 3 weeks to write a story. And like you said, it's a ripple effect. So everyone, there are tons of books out there, but every book can affect people for generations. So we never know who it's going to affect in the years to come. And so that's what you were saying, is like your legacy. If when you help 100 people to write their legacies in a book, imagine how many people are going to be impacted by that.
Exactly. If you really think about ripples, because I mentioned about, one ripple per book, but the truth is, if you think about various communities all over the world, right? So your book could be followed by different countries of people. It could be many communities that you're touching. So many ripples per book, in fact. So we're talking about a multiple effect here. So I guess the beauty about books is that you don't have to be there to be speaking. The book carries your message, right? So I think it's very powerful, and especially right now, and with AI and stuff, and everything is online, and there's also the notion of nobody reads books anymore. So we're kind of going against that grain. When actually, on the other hand, leaders are readers, right? But still, at the end of the day, that's a lot of people who still love they love the crinkle of the book. I don't know about you, Rose, but I love the crinkle of the book, and I love the scent of books. I'm one of those crazy people who go to bookstores and just open the book and just smell. I'm one of those crazy people.
There's nothing like a real book. And, you know, what you're saying is that there is AI, and AI is not able to share their personal journey and story and inspire others to be connected to them. And really, when we share our stories with others, they get enrolled in our visions and they want to read our books. That's not the same if AI pumps out a bunch of books with no heart and no soul in it, then
Yeah.
there's nothing, there's can be a lot of information. AI is a great resource for a lot of information, but it's not that personal touch, which is really what transforms and inspires people.
Hmm.
And that's the legacy that is left. All this information that AI can pump out is going to change in 10 years. A lot of it will change. But nothing can ever change our legacy and our stories. That's unique with each one of us. And so it's a beautiful mission. So I just want to celebrate you in your purpose journey of 100 books with thousands and thousands of ripples. That's a really beautiful purpose and journey. So just want to thank you for coming on today and sharing your story and your purpose with us. And we will definitely make sure to share your information so people can reach out and be one of your 100 story writers. And just honored to have you on today, Suriati. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you to be here. Bye, everyone.